What's up, guys? So a couple of months ago, I had the opportunity of getting to shoot with the brand new Sony ZV-E1. Now, if you guys don't know what camera I'm talking about, it is a 12 megapixel full frame, super compact camera with all of Sony's latest AI features. Now, Sony has made this camera pretty much the perfect camera for creatives, whether you're doing photo or you're doing video. Now, I was pretty shocked when I was talking to my friend Stan, and he had said, first of all, he'd never had the camera in his hands, and he does some great astro photography and time-lapsing, and he had the idea of taking it up to Bristlecone and shooting some astro photography. Now, spoiler alert, we didn't get to shoot any astro photography because the storm caught up to us when we were out in Mount Whitney. But with that being said, we were able to pivot and we got some awesome time lapses with the Sony ZV-E1 and a couple different lenses. And that's kind of the story I want to share with you guys. And the video I'm about to roll is just our little adventure. It was me, Stan, and Rui Israel, the director of Samy's photo school. And we headed up to Bristlecone and Alabama Hills and got some awesome time lapses with this brand new camera. So sit back and check it out.
Up in the Alabama Hills, shooting for the first time, at least for me, the ZV-E1 on a 24-70. We're gonna do a time lapse of this beautiful cloud dropping some H2O. We're gonna take our last time lapse of Lone Pine Peak. We got a storm kind of approaching, and we're gonna see how that turns out. It's so awesome. So when we started the time lapse, it was completely clouded over, but now the atmosphere is lighting up. Check that out. All right, so we're done here in Alabama Hills. Now we're off to the White Mountain. We're here up in the White Mountains. And we did a little pit stop up here, nice little parking spot. I think we're like about 9,000 feet up right now. And we got some amazing Eastern Sierras right in front of me. And we're doing another time lapse with the ZV-E1. And I think this is gonna be a good shot.
Also, guys, throughout the whole video, you guys are going to be listening to the brand new Sony microphone, the ECM M1.
It's a tiny guy.
Yeah, it's really tiny.
It's awesome.
Also, it's really windy right now. Well, not super windy, but enough to ruin a good take. But we've got this nice little dead cat it comes with, and it sounds really good.
Noise cancellation.
True. Let's see if it makes a difference. All right, copy, Captain.
You should do a little test with the noise cancellation.
Check. Yeah, I just turned it on right now, so
okay,
maybe we'll see if we hear the difference.
Testing 1, 2, 3. This is noise canceling on. And testing 1, 2, 3. This is noise canceling off, right? So there you go, on and off. Before I start time-lapsing, I usually put it into autofocus single, and I'll put it into the small spot or the center, and I'll autofocus on that area, take a test shot. You can hear that click. And if it's if the photo is sharp, then I'll put it to manual, then I'll start the time-lapse. So the purpose of this trip, I teamed up with Samy's camera. This is the first time I'm using the ZV-E1, and I felt like this would be like the ultimate travel astro camera, like, you know, right, Oscar? Like,
yeah, I agree.
It's so lightweight and compact. I'm a huge fan of the FX3 and the S3. It's basically the same sensor, so my main Astro camera is actually the FX3, believe it or not. I do both video and photo, but I absolutely love shooting with the FX3. And this has the same sensor, so in my mind, I'm like, okay, you know, just watching videos on YouTube and watching everybody, you know, do their reviews. This camera is very tiny, and doing the kind of work I do, I love to travel light. So in my mind, I was thinking this could be like the most travel-friendly Astro camera, especially if you shoot with the G Master 14mm or like the 20mm 1.8 and even a 50. So this is one of my favorite lenses. Maybe not for Astro. This is the F2.5 G 50. I love shooting with this lens for time lapsing. I love storm chasing. So I think this trip is actually going to turn into probably a storm chasing trip, because as you can see, we got a lot of clouds. So we're going to be doing a lot of time lapsing of these clouds up here in the White Mountains, and hopefully, crossing our fingers, it'll clear up and we can see how amazing this camera can do for Astro. So we found our spot to shoot for tonight. We are taking a little break and time-lapsing this beautiful sunset. As you can see, it's quite a score for sure. So I'm actually double timing on the time lapses. I got the E1 with the 20 on right now, and we got our Bristlecone in front of us, so that's kind of like the leading line. You can see it right here. And you don't see the sun anymore because it went behind the mountains, but when it was out, it was a nice leading line right into the sunset. And then I was actually at F11. That's kind of like the highest aperture I kind of tend to go to, especially if I want to get, you know, like a starburst. I find like after F11, at least on full frames, it's called diffraction, and the image can get soft in the corner. So I kind of tend to never pass that. The storm came in, we couldn't shoot any Astro, so we did some storm chasing last night, and we're heading back home, and now we got some sweet light right here. We got a rainbow, we got some rain dropping, and this is probably gonna be the final time lapse with the ZV-E1. And just a little tip, when you're shooting rainbows, use a polarizer. It actually enhances the rainbow, but just be careful, because if you turn the polarizer too much, it can actually eliminate the rainbow as well. So it's like, it looks really cool, man. This is gonna be a really good time lapse. Drove down the road and found another spot. Look at the light right now, it's so cool.